Idul Fitri 2025. Assalamualaikum friends. Today I wanted to share one of the most touching moments in my life. Idul Fitri 2025. For some people, it is just a yearly tradition. New clothes, ketupat, and holiday bonuses. But this year it felt different, deeper, more meaningful, as if the universe wanted to show me that some things can only be understood through coming home and forgiven. This year, I celebrated it in my hometown of Gresik. After spending the past year living in the city for work and college, honestly, a few months prior, I had considered not going home not because I didn't miss my family, but because there were still little wounds that hadn't healed. My father and I had a disagreement for my life choices, a classic generational conflict. But as Ramadan approached, belonging grew like a seed quietly watered by the time. In the end, I decided to go home. I left 2 days before it from Surabaya by bus. Amid the hustle and bustle of the terminal, I saw so many tired yet joyful faces. Children asleep on their mother laps, fathers carrying boxing of gifts, and me sitting by the window, listening to its songs that made my chest ache with the longing I couldn't put into words. The trip took nearly 5 hours due to traffic, but strangely, I didn't mind. Maybe because I knew what was waiting in the end of the road, a house that missed me, and the scent of opera ayam, my mom's voice calling me from the kitchen, and hopefully my father's embrace, even if awkward. When I arrived, my mother welcomed me with a smile and tears. She helped me tie me tighter than usual. It felt like being a child again, coming home after wandering too far. My father only nodded from the living room. Not many words, but the warm gaze was enough to let me know he missed one too. It if prayers whispered through tears. The night before it is always my favorite moment. There's something sacred in the echo of Takbir, ringing from one mosque to another. This year, I joined the kids from the local mosque for Takbir parade. We walked with torches, chanting Takbir with spirit, but behind the joy, I quietly shed tears. There's a tenderness in the air. The chants weren't just sound, they were echoes from the soul. They remind me of everything. The season I carried, the times I left without saying goodbye, and the prayers my mother's always whispered each night, even when I was too busy chasing life. When I returned from the parade, I sat alone on the front porch. The night sky was clear. I stared at the stars and whispered softly, Ya Allah, thank you for giving me the chance to come home. That morning, I woke up earlier than usual. Mom had prepared a new white shirt for me. So your heart come, Matt? She said with a smile. I smiled back, awkwardly but grateful. We walked to a field where its prayers were held. Thousands of people gathered, faces filled with hope, dressed in their best clothes, with hearts yearning to let go of grudges and pain. I listened closely to the sermon. The Imam said, It is not about being perfect. It's about the courage to forgive and ask forgiveness. Those words hit me hard. After the prayer, we went home and finally sat next to my father. For the first time in months, I whispered, Dad, I'm sorry. He looked at me for a moment, then nodded, and hugged me. You're my son. Coming home is enough to ease my heart. I couldn't hold back my tears. Maybe this is what it means to truly come home. Body, heart, and ego laying down their weapons. After that heartfelt moment, Mom called us to the dining table. She had prepared opor ayam, ketupat, spicy beef liver, and homemade cookies. Everything tasted so much better than usual. Maybe because it was cooked with love, or maybe because it was eaten with heart more open. We shared stories, laughed, and reminisced about our childhood. Mom even mimicked my older brother's voice from when he was a kid. We all laughed. I laughed too. They were deep inside. I wish time I would stop right there. At the dining table, we went to scent of rendang and warmth of family. That day, we visited several relatives and neighbors. Some were elderly and rarely left the house. Some were childhood friends who now had kids of their own. In every home, we asked for forgiveness, exchanged prayers, and laughed over old memories. I realized then, visiting others on Eid isn't just tradition, it's therapy. You never know how deeply someone is hurting. Sometimes it's a simple hug or sincere apology can heal years of silence. That afternoon, after all the guests left, I sat in my room and opened my journal. I wrote one line. It isn't about what we wear, but about who still holds our hand even after we've let them down. That night, I prayed more deeply than I had in a long time. I was truly thankful for the chance to repair relationship and to come home in every sense of the word and to discover what family really means. The Fitri 2025 will always remind me of that. Life is too short to hold on to anger. That forgiveness isn't weakness, it's a proof we love bigger than our disappointment. I don't know what next year will bring, maybe I'll celebrate it somewhere else, but one thing's for sure. This year taught me one valuable lesson. Sometimes all we really need is the courage to come home and say we're sorry. Happy Idul Fitri, friends. Maybe purified not just in the eyes of others, but in the eyes of our own hearts. And from that, we learn from all the mistakes we've made to be better well-being.